At 7:20, as the calendar is flipping, millions of Americans are setting New Year's resolutions, and just as many are wondering how long they will last. From eating better to losing weight, the goals are pretty familiar, but sticking with them, that is the real challenge. A 2023 survey from Forbes of 1,000 adults in the U.S. looked at attitudes surrounding making resolutions. And guess what? It found 32% of people cited improved diet as a top resolution, with about the same percentage, 34%, saying their goal is to lose weight. So let's dive deeper into this with Dr. Alicia Shelly, an obesity medicine specialist with WellStar Medical Group. Dr. Shelly, good to have you here this morning. It's the first full week of the new year, so a lot of people say today is the day. I'm starting my fitness journey, my health journey. So I want to ask you this, from your perspective, what do people you think misunderstand most about making these big New Year's resolutions?
So what happens is that people have really huge goals that they want to do. They're very ambitious, but what they forget is that they actually lack specificity. For example, you just say, I want to lose weight, but there's no steps. There's not like, okay, I'm going to go and walk for 30 minutes, or I'm going to actually meal prep. So a lot of times it's that lack of specificity. Sometimes they're just overly ambitious. You may not have 3 hours to spend at the gym, but you do have 30 minutes to go for a walk. So those are kind of the certain categories that people kind of fall into that kind of stop them from completing their New Year's resolution.
Yeah, finding really a way to do what you can. Like you said, you may not have 3 hours, but you may have 30 minutes. I think we all can find that. You know, you hear all these people say, new year, new me, starting in January. Do you think that January is a good time to start, or does putting sort of a calendar, a date on it, add a lot of pressure or too much pressure?
Well, I think January is a perfect time to start, because then at least you can get started with, you kind of have that motivation. But it's important that you do put it on your calendar, put it on your iPhone, put reminders so that you can start to implement those particular goals. And it's important to not think of these goals as short term, but as more of lifestyle changes. So at least making sure, like if you're like, I'm going to start walking, I'm going to walk 3 days a week, make sure you put that on your calendar. You shell out that time so that you can be able to complete that walk and stay consistent past January. Because when we look at the studies, most people quit by Friday, the second Friday of the month. And then a majority of people, 84% of people, quit by February. So the goal is to think of this as more as a lifestyle change and to implement these habits to get to your ultimate goal.
Yeah, that's such a good point. I also want to talk about the diet. Everyone says, you know, I want to eat better, eat healthier. How does that work? How does that start for most people?
Yeah. I think it's important for people to focus on more balance in their diet. Definitely limiting the refined sugars like your cakes, your cookies, all the things we were eating last month during Christmas. But then focusing on more of a balance, making sure you're getting your protein in, having your refined, more whole grains, as well as your fruits and vegetables. The recommendation for fruits and vegetables is 3 to 5 servings per day. And so people aren't necessarily getting that. And when we look at our protein, the goal should be at least 1 kilogram of protein. 1 gram of protein per 1 kilogram of how much you weigh. So it's important to make sure we get the balance in our diets instead of just limiting like one particular product or food group from our diet.
Yeah, and I'm a big proponent as well of preparing your meals, whether you get someone else to prepare them or you prepare them yourself. That has always been so helpful for me. But what's one small change you think people can start this week that actually will work? That's the thing, something I can start and sustain.
I would say start with your physical activity, because it can be as simple as walking 30 minutes. You can do, if you're not able to walk, if you have some limitations, you can actually do resistance bands. You can do body weight exercises. You can go on YouTube. There's free workouts that you can do from your home, even if it's a little bit colder. And so sometimes being consistent with that, actually, when we exercise, we increase our endorphins in our body, which makes us feel happier and lighter. So it actually will help you to keep moving forward by just moving that 30 minutes a day.
All right, Dr. Alicia Shelly, we appreciate you. We're going to stick to these resolutions. We're going to try this year. We appreciate you. Thanks for being here.